What is going on, YouTube? What if I told you I solved the GoPro touchscreen problem? Let's take a look. Alright guys, I think I solved the touchscreen problem with the GoPro. The main thing that I started with whenever I first got my GoPro Hero 9 Black, I did notice that the touchscreen was freaking terrible on it because obviously everybody knows it's very laggy and it doesn't ever do what it wants you to do. I did find out something, and I don't know if this is just something that I stumbled across or maybe it's an actual thing or whatnot, but when you're using your GoPro, the touchscreen doesn't do what you want it to do, right? And I actually have it mounted on the GoPro stick just so I'm not touching it. But if you actually go ahead and touch the GoPro whenever you're trying to touch the screen, so if you just touch the sides like this, then all of your stuff starts to work just fine. Everything works great as long as you're touching the side of the GoPro. If you're not touching the side of the GoPro, then I don't know if it's a sensor maybe that just causes it not to work or what it is. It doesn't want to ever do what you want it to do on command. So if you just legitimately put your hand on it, it'll do whatever you want it to do. And it works pretty much every time. But if you take your hand off of it, it just does whatever the hell it wants to do pretty much. Doesn't want to. You know, see how it's very unresponsive? Put your hand on it. Now it's responsive, right? So I just thought I would share that tip with you guys because it's something that I kind of noticed whenever I was playing around with my GoPro the other day. And I actually noticed it because I bought one of those silicone wraps that go around your GoPro. And whenever I put it on there, I finally realized that my touchscreen just wasn't working very well afterwards. So I actually ended up taking it off, and I kind of realized that whenever I took it off and was holding my GoPro, it was working just fine. But then whenever I put it on there and I was holding my GoPro, it wasn't working very well. So I kind of did some tests. I threw it on this little tripod here, and it works now. So I think don't quote me on it, but I really think that GoPro put some sort of sensor maybe in the frame that kind of, maybe it has like an electric reaction with you or something like that. I'm not sure. Holding it, it does something to make the touchscreen work. And I mean, if they did do it that way, I would understand why. Because I mean, you throw this around in water, if you've ever used capacitive touchscreens or whatnot, you know that they do not work well. Whenever you get them wet, they go berserk. So I think that actually having that, that feedback from you touching the frame, the frame is, I'm not gonna say it's metal or anything, but I mean, your battery door is metal and stuff like that. So it could be something to do with that. I'm not completely sure, but it's working and it's making the screen perfectly responsive. And I know that was a problem with a lot of the Hero 9s. I know a lot of people were sending them back because the touchscreen was unresponsive. Anyway, if you found that helpful, if you tried it out for yourself, let me know in the comments. If you found it helpful, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Later, guys.